Paul,
Yes.
I'm going to start by doing something risky here. I'm going to risk earning your ire, your David ire, potentially.
Uh-oh.
Because I have a little suggestion.
You know I hate those.
I want this. I know, but we're going to make one.
Okay.
I want this to be a fun sort of good boy podcast with two positive Pauls having fun, taking names, and sharing kindness wherever they go.
Sharing asses.
And sharing asses wherever it's practical to do so. Yeah. I don't want to risk having this recurring, dark, real-world stuff to keep intruding and upsetting everyone, especially me.
Okay, well, I'm willing to risk it.
Here's my suggestion. Mm-hmm. We acknowledge that during the massive delays to this film's release, about half the cast were cancelled for one reason or another. We acknowledge that, and then we try our best to avoid the following topics where it is not immediately and incredibly comedic to do so. I mean, obviously we'll make a few.
Okay.
Just to
and you can put that that list music in the background of dun 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 dun.
Anti-vaccine, COVID denial, drug addiction, alcoholism, political abstention, sexual abuse, the Israeli-Palestine conflict, cannibalism, and cheating on Emma Thompson with Helena Bonham Carter. I still haven't forgotten. I'll still never forgive.
Oh my God, who was that?
That was Branagh. He was full-on, I think, married to Emma Thompson when he cheated on her with Helena Bonham Carter.
Kenny
B.
Is Helena and Timothy not together anymore?
Timothy
Burton?
Oh, maybe this was before. I think it was pre. I think this was like early 90s.
Oh God, I see now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to retroactively never forgive you for that.
No, I think we should fucking eat him.
Yeah. All right. Idea over. Upset. Friends being upset. Be damned.
Let's just do it, mate. Now, let's discuss Monsieur Poiroh and his wacky adventures in Egypt. We can still make reference to that stupid Imagine video, though. Hello, welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that accuses everyone of murder. What are you hiding?
What are you hiding, listener?
What are you hiding? I'm Paul Bourget.
I'm in the freezer with hounds.
He sure is, folks. It's not an ideal recording environment, but he insists. He says it gives him that edge, keeps him where he needs to be.
It gives me that ham energy that I've been missing.
That I love so much. God, he's bringing that real honey roast energy this week.
Well, it's either that or breaded, mate.
Yeah.
Tell me you want another breaded Easter.
If I turn this little light bulb off right next to my face, does it make this too much of a Scary Boy podcast? Because it's so hot in here.
It's
going to die.
It's Skinnamarink too, but I will cope because of said ham energy.
We are kayaking down the dangerous rivers of Algorithm Month. It's a season where we do the thing that most podcasts just do anyway. To thrilling results, I expect.
Stuart Lee style, we prove every now and again that we can do the things that everybody else does, but we choose not to.
We choose not to, just because we hate it. Yes, this week we are anticipating the release of Kenneth Branagh's third Poiroh film by going back and watching the worst reviewed Hercule film ever made, apart from the 2001 Murder on the Orient Express with Alfred Molina and the 1965 Alphabet Murders. I'm sorry if you expected me to say either of those at the end of this sentence. I should have been clearer.
Damn. But, hey.
But we've got what we've got. And what we've got is the 2019, 20, and 22 film Death on the Nile.
You had something to hide.
We have the Karnak all to ourselves, a chef and enough champagne to fill the Nile.
Should have hidden it, shouldn't you?
When you have money, no one is ever really your friend.
It's too late to change events. It's time to face the consequence. Someone is dead. The crime is murder.
I'm looking forward to the third one with Jonathan Majors.
Oh boy, guys, you'll never guess who we got. Who's suddenly very available.
And cheap.
Very cheap for some reason. Oh, God. The first film did... And Alec Baldwin. The first one did well. And Christie's great-grandson liked Branagh, so there's a third one. Honestly, I thought that was not... I thought that was a joke when another reviewer mentioned it, but having done some reading, I genuinely think that was a deal maker, was that Christie's great-grandson actually quite liked Branagh.
Oh.
And great.
Hasn't seen the films.
Hasn't seen the films, doesn't care to.
Doesn't believe in it.
Doesn't believe in films, doesn't like mysteries. So...
Well, he chose the right direction.
Hates that shit. You don't know what his great-grandmum used to get up to. Mum, it looks like my pocket money's missing. Yeah, I know, your great-grandma was here. Look, you've got to interview a series of suspects, okay? She's hired them. Just, it'll be over sooner than you think.
She's handpicked a colourful bunch.
Most of them are caricatures that we really shouldn't be entertaining anymore, but look, one day you'll have the estate, so just,
one day you'll meet a Shakespearean actor who thinks he can handle all of this.
He thinks he can bring the level of gravitas that it needs, at long last. Yes. Well, Branagh is returning as director, producer, and Poiroh. Ridley Scott returns to produce, because he apparently produced the last one. I don't remember that.
No,
and Michael Green returned as screenwriter. Green also wrote Green Lantern, autobiography perhaps, of him being green.
Oh, yeah.
Logan, Blade Runner 2049, and Jungle Cruise. Mixed bag.
And yeah, I did look into Michael Green about 15 minutes into this movie. I went, Blade Runner 2049? How? I'm co-written with the original writer, and Michael Green also did Jungle Cruise.
He also did Jungle Cruise, which was the best written film of that year. I forget which year. I think it was the COVID year.
Yeah, that's fair.
The film was due to be shot in Morocco, standing in for Egypt, but that was hard, though. So they shot the entire thing in England. All of it, England. I mean, some on location establishing shots and like background stuff that stick out like a beautiful thumb. Otherwise, it's all England.
Sets and green screens.
Remember that bit in the marketplace on the Nile? Cotswolds. Yeah. Cotswolds, mate.
You wouldn't be able to tell the bloody difference, mate, with all the immigrants that have been moving in. That's it.
Oh
Vote,
my
leave.
God, it feels like Egypt these days. People don't know when we're joking. That's what I love most
that way.
About our audience.
We can appeal to everyone whilst despising even more than everyone.
Critics felt that flirtation, however delightful, would have no effect. Joe Morgenstern at the Wall Street Journal said, has pizzazz and period style. In the same way that today's big brand toothpastes have flavour, artificial ingredients give them taste that's discernible but too generic to name. God, he's coming after movies, toothpaste. No institution is safe from Joe Morgenstern.
Too right. That people ask, what is the point of having critics nowadays? And you just point them to that review and then you punch them in the face.
Look, I'm sick of big toothpaste walking all over the little guy. I'm not having it anymore. I'm calling him out. It's bland. It's artificial flavouring.
Yeah.
I'll continue to brush my teeth with whole grapes.
Is that what happens when you become a professional critic? It's just you're brushing your teeth and you're like, bland, tasteless, artificial.
I thought you were going to say, do you just sit there brushing your teeth and think to yourself, this could be a review? I've got nothing. I've been doing this for 40 years and Hollywood is pumping out the same shit. Literally, I'm sat there making a smoothie and it's like, yeah, I could make this about the Dark Knight.
Yeah. How can I wank this one out?
I'm looking forward to getting to that point. Oh, we're already there. The public also felt that love was far too important to trust a god or Kenneth Branagh. And by love, I mean Poiroh. Let's just...
So well delivered.
Let's get on
Very
Google.
Natural. Okay.
I'll just scroll past all the ones that use the word woke.
Oh, because there's an Asian guy playing a doctor. No, a lawyer.
It's just a woke movie, mate. It's textbook. It just is.
It's so woke they had to hire 3 cancelled people to balance it out.
God bless them. Oh, God. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me just scroll past all the people complaining that it isn't identical to the book.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here's one.
People really are scum.
They really are, especially on Google. Michaela Bunch on Google says, this movie was very boring. I found it not interesting at all. Thank you, Michaela Bunch.
Pithy,
all I
like
need. It's pithy, goddammit. We've got 3 Threemen, which is always my favourite because that's fun to say. Alar Safi, who plays a corporal in this, was in Outcast, where he played the Moor. I'm sure that was a very colourful member of Nicolas Cage's band of misfits.
Yep, I'm sure.
And was in The Mummy as Sickle Slave.
Okay.
That's a good BDSM name, I feel like. Sickle Slave.
Sickle Slave. I've got a
Or
bad
DJ
case of
name.
Sickle Slave. Teach.
Slave to the sickle. Sid Segar plays the concierge in this, and was in Doolittle playing Jeff the prisoner. And was also in Artemis Fowl as Man Eaten by Troll.
Okay.
And it was that performance that had Branagh
Kenneth
take notice.
Branagh insisted. Yeah.
Get me that guy from Doolittle play Jeff the prisoner. I need to see him eaten by a troll, and then I'll give him a classy role in my next movie.
Real classy, see?
And then finally, we have Arnold Monty, who plays local in this, and in Inferno played CDC worker, and in Revenge of the Sith was opera guest.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh knows how to pick up. I'm sure. I assume he does casting as well. He does everything.
Oh yeah, every other credit. He was in full cost character as Poiroh as he was doing it. What makes you think you are okay for this movie? I'm
Not
French.
symmetrical at all.
You are fired immediately. I do not want real French around here. People might see through my accent.
Excellent. So what are the last 3 men of Sid Segar and something Monty?
Sid Segar and Arnold Monty.
Both
And the
of
first one was
whom
Ala
could...
Safi.
Yeah, well, Ala Safi can't I don't think he's going to pass as a convincing 50s Cockney gangster. But Sid
Pass
Segar...
muster, mate.
Sid Segar and Al Monty. Ooh.
Yeah.
Segar and Monty. Don't want to cross them.
Sid Segar, see? It's pretty good.
Sid the Segar.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
Oh, I'll tell you what's not pretty good, though, is the scores, because Death on the Nile is 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.3 on IMDb, and 66% on Google. Damn, that's consistent scoring.
Metacritic there was, 52 or something?
Yeah, Metacritic was a little lower. The film which indicates, most critics leaned vaguely positive, but in general they were middling in their review.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't call it divisive. Pretty much everybody. 62% of people said it was all right, is basically what the conclusion is you can get from those two scores together. The film made only $137 million on a budget of 90, and so probably lost quite a bit of money. Nevertheless, Haunting in Venice opens this Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people will be glad that we've finally got the anti-woke movie for the generation, or whatever role it can fill today.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to set things right.
Oh, yeah.
So, Paul, you hero of your own economic fairy tales.
Flying, edge, bed, spread, style.
Love it. Love that, mate. What's
Thanks.
one thing about Death on the Nile that made you want to drink to excess twice a week or more and smoke cigarettes of various compositions?
Oh, I already do some of that. Tell you what, Paul, and I think you know what's coming. I think you know what's coming, mate. Because we finally, after all years of clamouring, mate.
Oh, God, I've wondered.
Years of wandering, just
What's
beating down the
happening?
door.
What's the explanation? I've been on Reddit.
Agatha Christie. Where did he get his
Why?
mustache?
How?
And why? Oh,
And when?
Why is his mustache?
Why is this mustache? God damn it! I need to know immediately.
And we find
we're gonna
out.
find out. We're gonna find out really early in this plot rundown, mate.
Almost like it's not the main twist.
It's. Well, I feel like he wants to just deliver that bit of fan service. You know, the thing that people are clamoring to know early on, just to assure people that this is going to be a good one.
Yeah. So we start with a flashback of like early.
We do.
Of 5-year-old Kenneth Branagh reading Agatha Christie's Poiroh and going, but where did he get it? And then he slams the book shut and goes, right, in 50 years' time, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to make up a scene and put it in at the beginning of this literary masterpiece.
And cut to that scene because we're in the war, one of them, the first one I expect. And we meet a
bad one.
young Poiroh. Mm-hmm. And oh good, they just recast him but kept his big mustache so that we know that it's him. That's so much better than using stupid CGI. Oh,
that's...
It was a recast fake out. This isn't Poirot. Sacre bleu. There he is. Oh my god. This is mind-blowing.
That's
he was
so
there.
French.
He was behind that guy.
He was there, Robert De Niro in the Irishman style, pants up to his elbows.
It's good when he doesn't say anything.
Oh
dear. So he gloriously devises a way to maximize the deaths of the enemy like any pacifist would. And it's ripping. But oh no, he explodes and it ruins his beautifully smooth CGI face. I I don't think we can make What Happens Next any more stupid of jokes, so let's just sample it.
I love you.
What about this?
Simple. You'll grow a moustache.
You'll grow a moustache. Yes, grow a moustache over your lip, chin, and all of your left cheek.
What? Where there's going to be scar tissue where hair famously doesn't grow? Yeah, there.
Where hair famously does grow, mate. You're reading stupid books, fake news.
Oh, okay. Also, thank you. When I asked you if you could deal with this, and I just sprung my horrifically disfigured face on you without any warning, I was kind of expecting you to support me and say, it doesn't matter, I love you anyway. Not just grow a moustache, but okay. Well, I
we're
can't
going
hope
to
you
cover
die.
that up for a start. Let's cover up as much of your face as possible.
You grow a moustache, you fucking bitch.
And that concludes the epic tale of Poiroh's mustache. I
Yay.
get it now. I get him.
I get why he's him.
So, future Poirot, normal non-CGI faced Poirot, arrives at a nightclub in London. Now, careful watchers, if you remember the last movie, it ended with the policeman showing up and saying, I have to take him to the Egypt straight away. There's been a murder, sir, right on the bloody Nile. Actual line. And everyone in the audience was like, oh my God, I vaguely heard of that. That gives it value. Well, if Branagh had read
Fuck all
past the
that.
title of the next book, he'd know that the eponymous murder on the Nile doesn't happen until halfway through the story.
Oh, he loves Agatha Christie's Poirot, he does. He loves it so
He
much.
he loves owning all of the books. So how do we get out of this pickle? It's fine, it's easy, mate. Snowman, take notice. This is how you do it. Have the doorman at the club say,
Monsieur Poirot, you solved the case in Egypt.
It's a great success, but I must return.
excellent, flawless. So he solved the murder in Egypt, came to London to do
Nile.
this intro scene,
Okay.
and then is going to go back to Egypt to solve his second Nile-related murder within a month. Why not put the nightclub in Cairo?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a question I'm not even able to keep in my head at this stage, Paul.
It's best not to.
There's a lot because we're in this nightclub now, and Poirot is there arranging cakes.
Yeah, it's one of those nightclubs that serves desserts.
Yeah, it probably did in the
I probably
30s
did. They
or
didn't know
whatever
what
it was. You don't
They
know.
were stuffed full of heroin.
Oh, mate. I don't know why these cakes just always make me feel better, and I don't put on any weight. I don't know why. But
And I never want to eat the cakes.
speaking of eating, though, no, cut that.
You piece of shit.
I forgot about the thing we said.
It's quite good.
That was naughty of me.
Poirot meets some NPCs, and we get our first expository dinner theatre-esque monologue.
There's no music because no money's been paid.
I pay everyone at the end of the night.
Well, in my experience, men who run such upright, quality establishments like yours lose their wallets when the bill comes. I'm betting you already forgot my name. Rosalie Audubon. I'm not just Salome Audubon's manager, I'm her niece. She'll retire wealthy, and I'll see to that. And we get paid up front. So if you want a little music, first I want to see a stack of green or whatever color money is in your country.
Ah, you see, I was once her servant, and it's just, oh,
Oh God. Oh God. Oh Paul. Oh. Does woke mean we get all the English people to play Americans and all the Americans to play English people? Because if that's what woke means, then
it's
I'm not.
flawless. It's
not
absolutely
all for it.
flawless. Margot Robbie, that's fucking her. I don't care what anyone says. There is no Emma McKay. That's Margot Robbie.
Fake news.
And you can't tell me anything. She's having a sexy dance with her fella, a hammer.
Yeah. Ugh. And
Ugh.
a lot of time spent on that sexy dance scene.
That's a long,
Not-
sexy dance scene. And then Wonder Woman shows up and literally steals the spotlight.
Yeah.
Just the club guy's like, fucking hell, look at her.
Oh, they do that Vic Reeves leg rubbing thing.
And fucking Margot Robbie literally says to her,
It's not fair looking like that and getting to be you.
yeah, so that's the sort of thing a friend might say to another friend. I've heard women talk through my hole in the wall.
I think it's what Kenneth Branagh thinks passes for a compliment. And it's what he gets told. By Gal
What's
Gadot,
the-
weirdly.
What's the dynamic here? She's got a fella, a hammer,
Yeah.
and Margot Robbie does, but Wonder Woman bloody offers to give him a job, He ends up giving him something else, if you know what I mean.
Or an even longer dance scene that really focuses on the lusty side of Armie Hammer. And
Of a hammer.
Of a hammer, yeah.
And from there, we cut to Clevedon, Egypt.
Cut to Harrow.
Poirot's enjoying a Jaffa cake in a tight close-up.
He's enjoying a Jaffa cake. It's a good, funny line. And an espresso or a coffee. And lovely particular Poirot, who we saw arranging cakes. With obsessive compulsive tendencies. Sees a bloody man flying a kite in front of the pyramid and just tosses him right off, but not before throwing the cake and the coffee on the ground. Tidy, obsessive Poirot.
He throws it on the ground because there's a Jack Whitehall to beat the shit out of.
Oh, God. The man with a very big mouth and very big eyes. Just doing British acting.
Poiroh! Book! What are you doing here? What do you think about my kite? I'll come down. Stay there. Be careful. Of all the pyramids in all the world, you had to walk up to mine. What a small world.
He was from the last one as well, and oh fuck, it's Jack Whitehall, which could be a name of one of his shows. Oh fuck, it's Jack Whitehall. Live at the Apollo.
Yeah, and people would love it, mate. That's the thing.
They're friends, and he invites Poirot back to his PS2 rendered hotel to meet all of the suspects that are gathered together. We've got British Annette Bening, got Oscar Isaacs.
Why are you wasting time on this when you could just sample the probably look better on paper expositionary dialogue?
Oh boy. We've got Oscar Isaacs, we've got flippant French and socialist Saunders, we've got the Pull Foot tribute act that is Russell Brand. We've got French egret, Tu sais rien, Jon Snow. Thank you, Jen, for helping with the translation. We've got Jazz the Woman, and we've got Black Panther.
Yeah,
It's the name of the superhero she's playing now, folks.
Yeah. Is there anything I can say about something funny I can say about this cast? Anything at all?
That's still allowed to be said.
Yeah, because I was just tossing cards out of my mental Rolodex as you were giving me the roll call. No. I can't.
None of them are
Dawn French.
Rubbish.
What's she
Dawn
like?
French. What is she like these days? She's like that.
She's like that.
Oh, tell you what though. Turns out that Wonder Woman got off with a hammer. Yeesh.
What?
Well, Margot Robbie's not going to like that. She got Margot robbed, etc.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for Margot Robbie and just being able to say jokes that come into your head and not.
Thank God Emma Mackey's here to be harmlessly very resembly of Margot Robbie, which was very confusing when they were both in the Margot movie together.
But it's true. But fortunately, she's. It's not long before she starts giving me Ben Wheatley's Rebecca vibes, and
I never saw that.
Oh God, it wasn't great, but it's also better than this.
That's also true of the Meg 2, folks. Check it out now.
Nice, I love that.
That's Ben Wheatley's recent career. It's better than Death on the Nile. Anyway, the introduction to the film and this party scene is pretty neatly set up who everyone is. So, tell you what, let me explain it anyway. He's fabulously written. He delivers like Rick Mail.
The good Dr. Windlesham proposed to Miss Ridgway when she was still Miss Ridgway. He and the papers both had the deal as good as done. Then came the engorged stallion, and now it's Mrs. Doyle. If I were in his shoes, I'd only come here to put a bullet in the groom. Our other guests, Lynette's godmother, who despises Lynette's wealth, and the godmother's nursemaid Bowers, who covets it, as does Lynette's own maid, poor old Louise. Oh, his cousin Andrew. He's a slippery fish. No one except Lynette trusts him. We find Mother and I are the only sane people here. The only one who seems to like Lynette at all is her old schoolmate Rosalie. She's Salome Otterbourne's niece and arranged for her to come to play for them. I first met her. Oh, good luck.
He's great.
He's great, but she's not, and she's dating him. Oh, Christ.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Look, here are all the people who should be playing English people, and here are all the people that should be American, but it's completely the opposite. Great.
Completely backwards. Otherwise, we're all quite normal. So
completely mad.
The next day, Wonder Woman and a hammer approach Poiroh. No, snake attack! Stanley, no! Okay. Well, anyway.
Time for Poirot's trademark lightning reflexes to come into play.
I can't believe you wrote that into the book. Oh, God. You know, that is actually a riff on a moment that happens in the much superior 1978 Death on the Nile film where someone puts a cobra in his bathroom. And his solution is he knocks SOS into the wall and the army dude he's traveling with in the next room comes in and kills it with a saber he had concealed in a walking stick. It's fucking great.
That is such a better, more satisfying solution to that scene. Not just, oh, I'm Wonder Woman now.
I'm the Wonder Woman now. Is the line he gave himself in this movie. Take that, Gal Gadot. Anyway, we want to hire you to watch out for Margot Robbie. Is she threatening you? No, it's just weird. I don't like it.
She's following us.
Yeah, she's following us a lot, and I don't like it.
Well, that's not illegal, says Poirot. Yes, but we really hate her.
We really don't like it, though. So, all right, I'll go have a word.
Yeah.
So he goes and has a word, and she's saying weird stuff, and she's got a gun. And she says she won't die alone, which is incriminating.
Yeah, and she's saying weird stuff about the gun as well.
Should we call the police? No, I think you should both go home. No, we're staying. We're not going to run and live in fear. Oh, all right. Well, maybe we should circle back round to the calling the police idea. Oh, they've gone.
Oh, they've gone to do fucking rich folk stuff. Hang on.
Speaking of which,
let's put Gal Gadot in a massive gold Cleopatra tent.
I think cringiest moment of the movie for me was the Cleopatra moment.
I couldn't refuse.
What?
The Queen of the Nile.
I have immortal longings in me.
What's fucking rich people? Was Brexit not enough?
I think part of me thinks that's meant to be the takeaway of that scene of just we're meant to find it deeply annoying.
Just Triangle of Sadness, but directed by Kenneth Branagh.
That moment was the 1920s equivalent of having to deconstruct a bridge to let your super yacht out. Oh, God.
They brought in Egyptian people just so they could fire them, just to make that scene happen.
We literally did nothing. You brought the cloth and the high chair. Yeah. Well. Anyway. To the crime scene. What? I mean, the honeymoon. Yes, the honeymoon. The intimate honeymoon where we've invited a bunch of people who hate us. All our friends on honeymoon with us. What could be better?
This is going to be great. Oh, it's probably going to be some really self-aware political satire. It's not that.
No. Nevertheless, my next note is they board the Triangle of Sadness. And
yeah.
They wave at the impoverished children playing in the water. I expect they're happy.
I expect everyone's happy.
Until I do reason I'll say otherwise. Yeah. Wonder Woman is a bit antsy though. When you have money, no one is ever really your friend. Yeah. Oh God. Maybe you could give some of the money. Well, fuck you.
Fuck you. I earned that money. It's mine.
You suggest that shit again, I'm kicking you off this boat, Poirot. Okay.
All right. Fuck.
And then she like leans into him like, what?
What, you little bitch?
Yeah. Thought so. Then she walks away. Yeah. Jesus.
I just came here. You told me you were going to sponsor me to arrange cakes.
That's the only reason I go anywhere. Anyway, Oscar Isaacs tries to get Wonder Woman to sign a hastily introduced bit of paperwork, but Black Panther interjects and says maybe you shouldn't do that. Oh, damn it. If only we hadn't done this in front of everyone. I'd gone away with it if it weren't for everyone.
Worth being on a boat in front of everyone on your honeymoon in Egypt.
Tell you what, though, speaking of Black Panther, Branagh deduces that Whitehall is having it off with her. Maybe you shouldn't be with her. Wakanda. Wakanda. What? It's really hard, mate.
Come see me at Wembley. Come see me at Wembley. It's gonna be so random.
I'm supporting Jack Whitehall there. In his "Oh fuck, it's Jack Whitehall" tour.
I came up with that name. Well, how did that come about? Hired. Well, he called me and I said hello, and he said hi, it's Jack, and I said,
and the rest wrote itself. The rest is history. They arrive at that bit of Egypt with the big sitting down guys. I love that.
Yeah,
bit.
I think I know. Statue of Liberty.
That's the one.
No.
It's not my favorite. My favorite bit is the sitting down face cat.
I love the sitting down face cat. Yeah. Japan has exploited that mercilessly.
Sitting down face cat. It's been a ruthless bit of merchandising, but I respect it.
They won't listen to any protests.
Not ever. Wonder Woman tries to have some saucy times with a hammer, but it's just too embarrassing, so someone tries to kill them both. It might have been a Murder on the Orient Express moment. They just all tried to do it.
Yeah. I did wonder halfway through if that was just going to be the twist again, and Branagh was like, look, if it ain't broke.
Christie was a ruthless franchiser and capitalist. she knew how her bread was buttered. Make matters worse, Margot Robbie's on the bloody ship.
How did she get on? Why did they let her on? I thought this was a private honeymoon ship.
It's not. It's just literally it's like the Clipper. You can just tap your way on. They actually address that, and it's like, well, she says, "I'll buy the whole boat if I have to," and it's like, yeah, I thought you had.
Why haven't you? I thought you were rich. You get a bloody Cleopatra tent.
She says something like, "We have the ship entirely to ourselves until the sitting down guys." It's like, my God, okay.
So, so you're telling me that the space between the sitting down guys and the cat face sit down?
Because otherwise it's like me saying, I've booked it. We've got this Jubilee Line train to ourselves, all the way to Wimbledon. I can't remember the Jubilee Line stops.
All the way from Willesden Green to
oh boy,
to the next stop from Willesden Green.
It's all ours. Enough champagne to fill a tube
of Smarties.
Wonder Woman goes to bed after making out in front of Robbie. And it's like, I'm sorry that we hurt you, Margot. We do bone a lot, though. Done it twice today. It's been great.
But I'm going to apologise one final time so that the last thing I do to you is apologise. Nice.
The last thing? Oh, no. Because, yes, there's a bit of a slag up between Robbie and a hammer, which ends with the hammer getting shot in the leg. Robbie gets taken off to see French and/or Saunders. The best place to deal with a hysterical woman. And a hammer receives some medical attention from the poor footlight once they find him. And all is well. Back to bed, everyone. No need to try and wake Poiroh, the world's greatest detective. He'll only just make a fucking fuss out of everything.
He'll just start trying to arrange things, claiming that they're tomorrow's cakes.
I hate that. I hate that when he remembers his idiosyncrasies. So, yeah, perfectly fine. Next morning, though. Oh, shit! At some point, Wonder Woman also got shot. Fuck you, my notes. Oh, God. Ricochet? And her fancy necklace is missing. Ricochet?
Oh, my God. Ricochet.
It's all explainable by the magic bullet theory.
Back into the left.
Back into the left was the necklace. Anyway, we mustn't cause a panic. What's wrong? Wonder Woman's dead!
Is someone ill?
Someone is dead. Lynette Doyle.
Lynette? Stop. What do you mean? How?
I'm afraid Jacqueline de Belfort has made good on her threat.
She's dead and Margot Robbie did it, God damn it. She can't have done. I heavily drugged her. I'm doing French. Oh, well, somebody did, and I've got a gun. Why have you got a gun, Poiroh?
I got it in the war when I high kicked a German. And
took his fucking gun. I'm Hercule Poiroh, one of literature's greatest figures, motherfucker.
And well, I've got a gun, says someone else, and then everybody says, "Well, I also have a gun" in unison, and they all show their guns.
They've all got so many guns on this ship. Is the problem? God. Well, French egret explains in a chin-heavy French kind of way that Wonder Woman ruined. Wonder Woman ruined her engagement, the bastard. And she could maybe have seen the killer, maybe. Wink, wink, wink. Who are you saying that to? Who indeed?
Miss Lynette gave a party last year. The man spoke to me, then found me after. When he proposed, I gave notice. Miss Lynette was suspect of his intentions on me. Just a maid. She had him investigated.
Who indeed? Let's hope I don't die. And
let's hope I don't die before I find out. I have information. Okay, we're going to check back in with you later.
Yeah, swing back in 12 hours.
Paul Footish does his best job to keep a hold of his accent whilst explaining he used to be in love with Wonder Woman, but he was too poor and generally off-putting. He started a YouTube channel after that. Lost interest.
I was essentially the guy from All My Friends Hate Me, but it's not my fault.
With better facial hair, which did make up
facial hair. Good facial hair. I'll give him that. And yeah, Paul. Now I just want to check going forward. Do you have the events written so I can like follow this chronologically, or are we just throwing in scenes that happened?
I've got a rough idea. Basically, I'm going to go around each suspect once, and then we'll just call it a day.
Perfect.
Oscar Isaacs explains that the new will that he wanted her to sign would have covered up all of his crimes. You did it then. If I wanted to kill her, I'd have used this much larger and louder gun that I've got on me. Why would I have risked going to get the other gun when I've got my own right here? Look, so that he wouldn't incriminate himself as the obvious suspect? No, it's fine. I'm eliminating him as a suspect.
Yeah, Poiroh says it's fine, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. No, you're right. That wouldn't have made any sense. He'd have shot her with his own gun that has his name on every bullet. You're free to go. I can't think of any reason he'd have gone back to get that other smaller, easier to hide, quieter gun.
No. No. Well, no, I had one idea, but then Poiroh said definitely it wasn't him, so...
Then I don't remember thinking anything else.
Yeah.
I remember just hoping there would be cakes in. Anyway, we took too long on the holiday part of this movie, everyone. Both the movie and us. So next suspect, come on. Come on now. Dawn French, you're poor and a socialist and gay. So?
Yeah.
All right, good point. Next one. Come on. Jazz the Woman. Wonder Woman was racist to you back in the day, and you've got a gun. Lots of people have guns and were racially abused by Wonder Woman. Oh, you're a slippery bunch.
Indeed. Oh, by the way, Dawn French, love is a very good reason to kill. Next.
Next. Okay, where are we? Yes, British Annette Bening. Can't be asked to recount your part of this because it wasn't in the book and it's quite tedious and easily removed.
Oh, no, you hired Poiroh. Let me do it.
Yeah, that's the reason we're saying he's here. Ooh, yeah. I got away with that. I'm not sure you have, Annette Bening.
The lucky ones die in childbirth. It's my job to protect you. You think I don't know what you're after? You want my blessing to marry that girl. Well, you can't have it.
Not the worst English accent in the film, to be sure.
I weirdly think Russell Brand's one is worse.
Much of the world lacks access to modern medicine we take for granted, Poiroh.
Russell Brand's was just forever... It was just quiet Russell Brand. And it's always just going to be Russell Brand, isn't it?
He was aiming for posh, and it was just very odd.
Russell Brand.
Sacred Blue is dead French egret. She got offed. So everybody yells at each other for a bit as fists and accents go flying.
and a door closes right on the two men that are fighting, and I just wish that a door would automatically do that whenever I'm in public and people start raising their voices.
You just got pushed for a door.
Yeah, a door could either appear and close on them, or I could just get pushed through a door and that would close. Either would work.
What we need for you is some sort of emergency, like cushion that you pull a grip pull on and it just surrounds you. Oh yeah, gun. That would just shoot yourself in the head.
Same thing.
Just need a way out.
Depends how out I need to get.
So, Poiroh figures out that Jack Whitehall stole the necklace and then witnessed the second murder. And he was going to just go along with that, including knowing the identity of the murderer for a long time. But, since you asked, fine. The killer is... And he gets shot in the neck.
Yeah.
One last annoying act from an irredeemably annoying character.
Yeah. Damn, says Poiroh. If only I, an established genius, would have just spoken to him privately in a room where there was definitely no way that anybody who had any killy sort of tendencies could have gotten thing. But I did have to do it in front of Armie Hammer because I'm not an official policeman.
Yeah. The version of that from the 1978 one is so good and unexpected, and it's Angela Lansbury involved.
Oh, fantastic. And then she went off to do her own series.
Essentially, in the original book, it's the author insert that happens to. So Agatha Christie just wrote a book where at one crucial point when she's about to give some key information, she just gets shot in the face.
That's so good.
It's so good.
I enjoyed that, but instead it's Book.
It's Book. Oh, well, the killer has some dead to rights now. He's got a gun on them. Oh, they've run away. Oh, good. That's handy. Bit of an action scene, including a bit where the murderer, who, once you know who they are, the fact that they're throwing knives like a fucking ninja into embedding themselves on a wall won't make much sense.
About as much sense as it is to see Poiroh throw a cleaver.
Yeah,
and
was
embed
Poiroh
herself in a
throws
door
the
frame.
cleaver?
Well, yeah, I think he throws a cleaver, but the killer does also throw stuff, right? And also runs around.
It is very much like Watchmen. All right, that's enough of all this. It's time for the bit where he explains what the bloody hell's going on the whole time.
Oh, good.
But we shan't tell. Read the book or watch the 1978 version in order to find out. Yeah. Not this movie full of cannibals. Anyway.
see the intro.
Always refer to the intro. Anyway, the mystery's resolved. They dock, say goodbye. And why did they wrap the bodies up like mummies? Does Kenneth Branagh think that they just do that here to dead people?
It's a ghastly place.
Poiroh shaves off his mustache and presumably becomes... His character arc apparently has been leading to that, so I guess the next movie is just going to be the scar-faced man. Find out by watching The Haunting in Venice.
Yeah. Or does he grow... Maybe he grows it back for that, and he just...
I guess so. That was just like a moment he had.
Had a
It was
brief
like,
change.
actually,
Yeah.
I feel confident now, but it is pretty fucking... It's a lot, so...
He had a misguided summer of shaving his mustache and following that jazz singer around.
anti-shaves. He became a hippie for like 10 years. That's right. The next movie set in World War II.
So deal with it.
Do you know the original title of the next one? Haunting in Venice is not an Agatha Christie book. It's based on a book of hers set in England somewhere in a little village, and it's just called The Halloween Party. I wish he'd kept that name.
The Halloween Party.
Poirot's spooky Halloween party adventure.
This summer.
None one shall leave till I find out if the dead are hunting the living. Poirot's Halloween party.
Toffee apples.
Co-starring Mary-Kate and Ashley. All right, mate. That was Death on the Nile. What do you make of Death on the Nile?
Oh, I didn't like it, Paul.
Oh no.
I wasn't a fan. As you said in the plot recap, it does spend way too long on the pre-murder bits. Because, and I guess credit for trying to have set up scene and characters, but they don't do any of that very well. So
that's the thing.
It's an hour of very, very grating, cringy scenes of like, as we said, it's like Triangle of Sadness without the self-awareness, just Gosford Park without any of the style, and then the murder happens, and I do start getting a bit of that intrigue, that excitement of I wonder who did it, and and it's always fun. I do enjoy watching like the conceit of super talented like savant detective questioning people. It's all quite good. But the overall, just the look and feel of the thing, the overacting, would be much better on the page sort of dialogue. I just found it so difficult to to sit through.
Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, that's the thing, is because it has the same structure as the book, and it benefits from the same strengths as that. It has at its heart a good method. Because that's what it all comes down to, is you want the actual reveal to be quite satisfying. It's contrived. It's very contrived. It depends on some very careful timing, but it is still fun. It's still quite exciting. But as in the book and the other film,
glasses are coming off, everyone.
Glasses are coming off for this. The murder happens about halfway through the book and the other film. The first half, though, is dedicated to much more interesting characters than these. This movie feels quite toothless. And I'm not the kind of person who complains that it needs to be more like the book or whatever. Adapt, change, whatever. It's great. Merge characters, invent new ones. It's fine. But you've got to make it interesting. And these characters just aren't interesting because if you're telling this story and not having a pretty fierce layer of class criticism, because there's all these name drop moments. The fact that Gal Gadot's character has ruined everybody's lives in different ways. She paid off Egret's fiance to run away, and stole her idea for a honeymoon. She's a really despicable character in so many ways, and yet there's this weird kind of reverence for her, I feel like, because there is this admiration for her opulence and her grandeur that
I'm not the kind of person to just dismiss like the sadness or like mental health difficulties of rich people just because they're rich. But in this, it was just fucking crocodile tears. Like when that scene where she just talks about how difficult it is, because she has no friends. It just spoke of the vapidity. Is that a word? Just the film was very surface level and vapid. It felt, without wanting to actually go into any of the nitty gritty or the interesting stuff about what it says about society, to have a boat full of rich people just doing
sailing through Egypt
things
in the 30s.
But instead it's just platitudes, really, and not even platitudes about about wealth. It's just just conversational platitudes, scene after scene, and just people saying like faintly high society things, whilst so they can fill out an hour of runtime.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. You don't adaptations often don't work when they're completely faithful to the book, and you have to have they're different formats, and you have to be able to you pick your battles basically. But just like the added prologue of Poiroh and the war and how he gets his mustache, it's just focusing on the just completely wrong things. If you want to add stuff, there's a mountain of ideas you could you could explore.
And again, changing the character is fine. It's fine to change the character, but changing him to make him more generic is so irritating because he would be such a refreshing change of pace right now to have a big movie where the center of it is this kind of pacifist, violence-hating, character. There's a wonderful opportunity there. In the same way there was with like the Fantastic Beasts movies, to have Newt Scamander be this different kind of hero, but ultimately he's just going to turn into an action dude. Eventually, it just needs to be the inevitable way of things, and it's very disappointing that they decide to put him in the army and make him like a military strategic genius. It's like, no, he spent the army working as a private investigator in Belgium. That's again, you can change that, fine, but like just the change only makes him more boring and takes away things that make him different from other protagonists, and that's a shame.
Is it done with the sort of misguided aim to make him more relatable, and it's just more relatable through the lens of how we view heroes,
just to make him more badass, just to make him cooler and to give him a cool reason for his mustache. And you just think, oh my god, you don't give any. This movie feels like a movie that is reluctant to give credit to its audience. And to be fair, a lot of people online were complaining it was too slow and it took too long to get to the murder, misdiagnosing the fact that what that really comes from is a lack of engagement. You could easily tell a great murder. I mean, when does the murder happen in The Glass Onion? It takes a while.
What my one better thing? It was a while. Yeah,
it was a long while because you're just involved and you're interested and you're
and there's
enjoying
intrigue. If that first hour would have been, I think this film pays lip service to the idea, and and that kiss is very much lip surface. To the idea of creating intrigue, because occasionally somebody will put down a gun and it will focus on the muzzle of the gun, and I think that was supposed to make you go, ooh, how a gun's gonna play into this. I wonder if someone's gonna shoot one. But all it did was make me come out of my stupor to be like, oh, there's a gun. Okay, just try and remember this.
Yeah, and because when things happen, when they do the sewing threads, when where's my scarf? They don't see my red paint, this kind of thing. It's like, oh, okay, things are getting introduced that we need to remember, and later on we need to think, how could the red paint have played into this? But you just don't feel, I don't know, inspired to do so. You need a good, involving world. And I will say this, in terms of the world, this feels like a step down from Murder on the Orient Express, which at the very least looked beautiful. This movie has some, as we'll come to in Quickfire, lovely shots of the Nile that were picked up by the fucking B unit. But the overall look of the thing is so bland and sheeny that I just find it very unpleasant to look at a lot. It looks fake.
Yeah, it does. There will, again, in the Quickfires, there'll be one or two interior shots that I really appreciated that had a real, almost a Wes Anderson sort of level of attention to detail, or just care for the design. But so many, any exterior shot when they're supposedly on a boat on the Nile, there's no wind blowing. There's nothing. Everything is warmly lit. Nothing. Yeah, you're right. It just doesn't look real.
Compare that
and it's
to 1978.
So distracting.
It's night and day. Compare it to 1978, where they actually shot in Egypt. It's
I mean, and you're right. I remember enjoying Murder on the Orient Express. I didn't come out of it thinking, wow, this is amazing. This is going to revolutionize things going forward. But I remember enjoying it. From the first moment where Kenneth Branagh just, what's the line? These earths are not equal or something.
Yeah. That's always been such a weird little introduction because he's not OCD in the original stories. It's been such an odd little addition.
Yeah. Were they not? I haven't read them, but was he? Because I saw the way he was behaving with the cakes in this movie, and I thought, I know, I'll Google this. This will give me the answers. And apparently, he had obsessive. Do you have compulsive tendencies?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've read any of the Agatha Christie's. I remember really enjoying them when I was in my teens, but I don't remember Poirot as a character in that way, and it's been a while since I watched it. I'm sure that aspect is not in the Gielgud or Albert Finney versions of the character from the original movies, but anyway.
I guess as well, like obsessive compulsive it's like an easy out for somebody who is on the fringes. It's like this person is incredibly talented because they've got autism. It's a similar. Well, he's good at solving crimes because he's obsessive compulsive. Whereas he could, and it is easier than having him be a pacifist, like a gentle, inquisitive and observant person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, indeed.
This is just a story that needed to be much more subdued, way more underplayed. Like it should have just felt way more British. Than this did, and it's British. You know the kind of British I mean. I don't mean like fat Les's Vindaloo British. I mean I mean the good kind.
Yeah, it was lacking in that sense of scale, and it's the characters really for me. I just wanted more out of the characters. That's the thing that would have made me go along with it. Yeah. But nevertheless, there's some good things. So let's very quickly quick fire. I enjoyed some war noises over the logos. The production logos come up and you hear the sort of gunfire and distant stuff, and it's like, okay, I'm getting into the mood. It's a weird mood to be getting me into. But
for Poirot, yeah.
It bespeaks scale and drama.
True.
Okay.
Feeling of an epic. So when in the nightclub scene where Poirot is watching Ben Wheatley's Rebecca and Gal Gadot and the Hammer dancing, there's that demonstrates his watchfulness and his observant nature, and just some quiet, very steady. The steady gaze of a puppet, the steady gaze of a Kenneth Branagh as he goes from between these two characters. It got across the idea that he was just a man in control and was happy to just sit and take details in. And
that's good stuff.
Yeah, that did it effectively.
I thought some aspects of the war sequence did look good. The black and white photography and the framing and the sort of drifting kind of
gives
camera.
Gives it a certain texture.
It does. I quite enjoyed that.
Like Roma.
What it reminded me of weirdly was the tragedy of Macbeth. The Joel Cohen kind of thing. That has some very, deep blacks kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
The delivery of a lot of Kenneth Branagh lines were quite pleasant to listen to. He got a nice little cadence going.
He's an actor of sorts, isn't he?
An actor. The line that I've got down here was the...
And it is convenient to my own plans, although travel by water does not naturally agree with me. Oh, I could tell you... Well, I should not tell you, actually.
Just muttering to himself in front of somebody else. Yeah.
It's very odd because I also enjoyed some of those moments, but it's weird when you see him decide to do them. Because he doesn't do them very often. There's maybe like 5 of them in this. But, yeah. Quite a good delivery. I enjoyed it.
Half the time he's shouting like Poirot does.
Yeah, it's like Poirot would. God damn it, he's such a cool guy. Whenever they have actual shots of the Nile by the B unit, it does look great. Often in the late evening or early morning, they have these shots to break up the days, but it's just like people fishing or, just the wildlife or the reeds. And oh my God, beautiful. Like, the stuff you want to be seeing on screen all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I like the pacing of the introduction to Annette Bening's character with her and Poirot. There's good back and forth between the three of them.
Oh, yeah.
And some good presence, I think, and commanding of the scene from Bening and, I almost said Poirot, Branagh.
Yeah. Branagh.
Mother, you must meet Hercule Poirot.
Why?
He's only the greatest detective alive.
Oh, he exaggerates. No, he's quite correct, actually.
You're quite the most ludicrous man I have ever seen.
Not the first time I've heard this.
And you're in my view.
Stepping aside.
Yeah,
I enjoyed his line introducing her, where he's just like, behind every kite-flying man is a woman. And it's like, I like the idea of a kite-flying man, that this is how he's identifying now.
That's a real gentleman of leisure type thing.
The kite flying man. Yeah.
I did try being a polymath. It wasn't for me. It was very blasé. So now I'm a kite flying man.
Kite flying man. Also, the Nile reveal with music. Like, the first time we cut to Egypt and we're in the water, and then we cut above and we introduced, like, the idea that we're in Egypt. That music is just pure Christmas movie to me. It's like adventure, Monday, bank holiday Monday, family adventure movie.
With the family.
Love it. Family.
I did like Guilladot's compassionate response to Ben Wheatley's Rebecca. Because she, as she's leaving, Rebecca throws a little insult at her, and she stops and comes back, and she apologizes and says she, just honest about the fact that she didn't want to hurt her, but has no regrets.
Yeah.
But still feels bad, and the way that Ben Wheatley's Rebecca was unable to like muster like a response to that, like wanted to just continue being angry, but the emotion kind of overtook her.
Yeah.
The emotion kind of overtook her. It was it felt like a genuine moment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of Ben Wheatley's Rebecca, aka Margot Robbie, aka Emma Mackey, I do like the shirt that there's Ellen's fashion corner here. Wink. The shirt she's wearing with the red and blue stripe on the sleeve in the scene where Poirot confronts her and is like, maybe move on with this a bit.
Yeah.
He's not that good. I've heard some things. Maybe you want to let this guy go. The shirt she's wearing in that moment, I really liked.
Yeah. There was a lot of good fashion in here. I didn't appreciate it too much during the movie. The costume and set design. It was only really on
production
reflection
design.
Because the what?
The production design.
Production design is an oft overlooked aspect of cinema, and it is in this case because of the sort of overwhelming platitudes of the movie. It did kind of bleach out a lot of that, and then when I tried to stop reading from all of that and pay attention to costume and some of the set later, it's it's clearly a lot of work went into it, like it always does.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I wanted the rest of it to sort of keep up with that and be more evocative of the time.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of one of the appealing things about watching a period piece, or it's a foreign country and all that. It's
the exoticism of it. Yeah. You want to be transported a bit. And one thing, the music did do that for me a fair bit. And one part is they use the music cues quite indiscriminately. It's not a very developed or sophisticated soundtrack, but they have a piece of music they use whenever they want something positive to happen. Doesn't matter which characters it's happening to, even if it's with the benefit of hindsight, a romance that is something else. Whenever something positive happens, they play this little cue.
See? I told you it will be fine. Jackie won't be able to follow us anymore. Let's go.
Which I quite like. It's a little bit Lord of the Ringsy. It sounds a bit like the Hobbit theme, which, when it comes in the middle of like a dark scene, it's like, oh.
Okay.
Not that bit. It's the...
okay.
Yeah. It's that... Hold on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's the bit where Sam is like, there's some hope good in this world.
Yeah.
And it's worth fighting for. It plays that little bit, and it's like, oh god, we haven't heard that in a long time.
Lord of the Rings is good, isn't it, mate?
It was very good.
Do you know, I don't care what anyone says. I like Lord of the Rings. It's a good film.
It's good stuff.
It's a good film.
It's a good individual film.
Yeah. Anyone who watches it in 3 is just a cuck. Woke Brigade, am I right? Am I right? I don't know.
I'm not actually sure, but we'll find out. I'll get someone on the phone.
Okay, cool. Well, whilst you do that, I just want to point out that the hard cut to a hammer bawling his eyes out over the body of Gal Gadot was fucking funny, Paul.
Simon Doyle must be told.
Wasn't it? Like,
it was so good.
He's not terribly good in this. He's really quite dull in his performance. And that moment, it's the mode of crying that is just like a heart, because, you know, there's more going on with that moment than you think, obviously.
Yes.
But, yeah, you're right. It's just funny.
It's the hard cut, because it's a quiet moment of like, oh no, death. Oh no.
But it's worse than that, because it's like, oh, we should probably tell him. And then you cut to...
Yeah. And it's a close-up on his face, and he's red-faced, bawling his eyes out. But it was very funny, so I appreciate it.
It was very funny. The tracking shot of the boat when they first get there, I know, like, the background is nonsense. Like, they don't feel like they're at sea. It's too still. But the actual tracking shot along and down the boat, which is only possible because they built this, you know, stupid thing inside of a studio, did at the very least look quite impressive.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
The lawyer has the line, I was all snores by 11, which I think is a good line.
That's quite good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a nice old-timey way of saying things.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the line where they mention, oh, you know, she had all the money in the world and now she's in here with the hams. And then Poiroh says, I'm afraid this is as much dignity as we can afford. And then he adjusts her feet so that they're parallel with each other. Yeah. And that was quite good timing on that. Just as much it was a dark little bit of humour of this is as much dignity as we can afford this dead woman, and then he adjusts her feet.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I didn't catch that. That was good. Another line, and I rewound it to make sure, and I'm pretty sure this is what it is the same. He's still questioning Oscar Isaac and talking about all the shady dealings that he has. And he comes back with the line,
"This is not the kind of thing you can prove on a boat."
Yes, this is my next one, weirdly, and it's something that Katie and I both laughed at when we saw it at the cinema. Yeah, they're talking about the impropriety of the will. And he's just like, that's not the sort of thing you can prove on a boat.
And it's just, what the fuck are you talking about, mate? Prove on a boat if I want. I'm Hercule Poirot,
anyway,
motherfucker. And I've got this gun.
Amazing. An amazing line by Sophia Canedo, playing Jazz the woman.
Monsieur Poiroh, if I put a bullet in everyone who took a pot shot at me for not keeping to my place, the world would be littered with dead white ladies.
Dead white ladies was very well delivered.
And everybody went, oh, it is what we want.
She pronounced the H in there. White ladies.
Yeah. It needs to be pronounced more often to give emphasis to what we are and stand for.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Dawn French is being called in for the interrogation, her line, oh, he wants to speak with me. I'm laying down a corner, because she's working on like a jigsaw, I think.
Yeah.
She's laying down a corner, Paul. She can't possibly give up that time to go for a murder investigation.
Absolutely.
Very British. It was just a very British response to to murder. Yes, well, I'm in the middle of a jigsaw, you see.
I enjoyed his big actor moment, which is after Book has been murdered. He's doing his big sort of "this is what happened" speech.
Yeah.
And then he says Book's name and then pauses for a good 10 seconds before he carries on. And yes, you know, it's a big moment, but and it's very called attention to. But it was nice. It was a nice little emotional moment from him.
Yes. This is my next good thing. It was very nice. The underplayed or the subdued emotional moments were way more effective than Poirot pistol whipping people, or smashing things, or just yelling at the top of his... Stop it, Hercule.
Nan, did he used to do that when he was in the TV show? I don't think so.
It was just him and Roger Ebert back in the 70s riding around, just popping cats in suckers.
Putting things right. I watched Poirot.
I don't care to. That was nice, and that's what Poirot, from what I remember from the TV show that I watched occasionally when I was off school, means to
Best
me.
Time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, my final one is actually the interrogation of Dawn French. There was the establishing shot of the two of them either side of a table is the most Wes Anderson. I was trying to think of any word to say other than ass, but it's the most Wes Anderson ass shot in there, because there's a lot of symmetry and attention to detail and lovely complementary colours.
Beautiful.
And that was lovely. And more
That's
of that would
classy
have
as
been
fuck,
nice.
mate.
I guess it was the first scene, even though the boat is sort of made to look like a colonial house, it's the first one that looks like it takes place in a well-to-do drawing room. Soon to have tiffin whilst discussing the murder. And I appreciated
Absolutely.
that.
My last good thing is just that this central murder mystery, and I've already said this, is really good still.
Yeah.
It's still a really fun little conceit what actually happens. And it boils down to that great thing with Agatha Christie, where so many of the plots you can just kind of spoil them in a sentence. You know, they all did it. The inspector did it. You know, one of the victims did it. You know, it's just, it boils down to that, but then the actual mechanics of it are quite satisfying and well thought out.
Yeah.
In a way that would be completely improbable and impractical in real life, but it's still just so much fun to see work out in terms of the forensic detail of it. And that still perseveres, even if they have added this whole extra element. The big extra element they added, by the way, was the whole thing with Book, who's not in the book, and his whole thing and the reason for Poiroh being on the boat is just different.
So
Otherwise,
it's silly.
It's just a bit silly.
The Kenneth Branagh Murder on the Orient Express is probably the only movie I've ever guessed the twist to. I'm not good at guessing the twists to movies. And I don't guess it because I've already seen Murder on the Orient Express. I'm not going to give myself that. I guessed it. And for this, I almost got it. Yeah. But almost doesn't get you your dog back, does it?
It doesn't get you your fancy ass mustache. So
No, you have to get scarring. Extensive facial
You've got to get
scarring.
scarring yourself, folks.
Kids.
Oh, God. All right. Is that it from us?
That's it from us.
That's it from us, but now let's hear from Nuff. It's, from Duff. It's the OG team.
The OG team.
All quiet on the Meta and the Patreon front, but we get a couple of people on X.
Ooh.
Including Bex, who says...
Bex on X.
I saw it in theatres and loved it. Well, there you go.
All right, then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's not the kind of thing you can prove on an X.
You can't prove it on an X. Get off of there, meet us up in real life, and we'll discuss it. Goodman versus Salt, which is the better kisser, at Old Man Calloway, says... At last, the mysterious origins of Poirot's mustache are revealed. I had a good time when I saw this in theatres, but thinking back to it now, nothing much stands out for good or bad. You know, I think that's pretty much my takeaway too, is until I really sat down to think about the issues with it, none of it really... It's the kind of movie that just kind of washes over you. It was good Christmas fare. It came out in the summer movie season of last year, and then we watched it at Christmas again with my grandparent. You know, and the whole family just watched it. And for those purposes, it serves perfectly fine. It's just not very interesting, and there was potential here for it to be a lot more.
Yeah, that's usually how I watch things like, and that's kind of what I was hoping for with this. But within 5 minutes, I was straight on the nitpicking train. I just couldn't help it with this one. It's a shame.
It doesn't engage you. I feel like if the aesthetic was better, it would have accounted for a lot of just carrying me along.
I think so. Yeah.
Aesthetic and character are the big things I missed here.
100%. Also, B.T. Calloway's summation there is an accurate way of describing a kiss with either one of us.
Oh, yeah. It's also something you can enjoy with your parents at Christmas.
Just go along with it, folks, and you'll think by the time you've realised what's wrong with it, it's too late.
Oh, God. Well, thank you, OG team.
Mercy Bacoop.
Le team. Paul, what's the one better thing? The one better thing.
Oh, Glass Onion and Gosford Park.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, I've got the original Death on the Nile and The Last of Sheila. That's the one better thing.
Nice.
The Last of Sheila is one of the movies that inspired Glass Onion, and it is great. It's a Herbert Ross thing. Written by Anthony Perkins and Stephen Sondheim, which is so fun. Stephen Sondheim, who then does a sort of little cameo in Glass Onion on the Scout Call. It's great. It's just a boat full of people. Somebody's going to murder James Coburn. You tell immediately. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Ian McShane when he's really young and hot?
Pre-Lovejoy?
It is pre-Lovejoy. Raquel Welch.
That's right, ladies.
James Mason. It's a hell of a cast. And the original Death on the Nile has a hell of a cast as well. The 1978 version by John Gilliman. You've got Peter Ustinov in his first Poirot, taking over from Albert Finney. Jane Birkin, Betty Davis, Mia Farrow playing the... Mia Farrow plays the Margot Robbie, Emma McKay role. So she's the
cool.
the kind of crazed ex-lover. It's great.
Oh, I'm crazy.
David Niven, Maggie Smith, Angela Lansbury, Simon McCorkindale plays the Armie Hammer role. It's
better. It's better than if Armie Hammer played it.
It's so good because it's Manimal playing him. So yeah, I love that movie. So please check it out. And also the surprise murder, the third surprise murder, is genuinely shocking. Every time I watch it, I'm like,
right.
It's great.
Oh,
So, yeah.
lovely.
Okay.
So yes, everyone.
So yes, that was One Better Thing. The One Better Thing. Paul, how can people find out about the OGT pod?
The OGT pod.
The OGT.
I'll tell you something about the OGT pod.
What are you going to tell me?
Is at Twitter and Facebook at OGT pod, where you can get in touch. You can tell us all the things that you love about our respective voices and what you think it would be like to kiss us. Don't do that. That's weird. It's one of those things that I said and then immediately wanted to unsay. And
I get very short on breath quite quickly. It's quite breathy.
And there was that feeling of embarking on a venture and then immediately wanting to stop doing it is kind of what it's like to kiss me. So now you know, and you can save
it's
time.
It's like a long travel itinerary.
Yeah.
Fuck! Why did we do South Korea as well?
You thought do it in a weekend? They said. Who are they? Oh, Boris Johnson did as Foreign Secretary. And
that's right, guys. You can't kiss Paul Goodman in one weekend.
It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime commitment. But save all the
Nell
time
in the
thinking.
background of frame right now. Just living a life.
No, yeah, she's just looking down, just wondering what it'd be like to stop kissing me. And while she's doing that, you can save time worrying about any of that and just go onto Facebook and Twitter or become a patron. And when we put the call out for the OG team, and when I say we, I mean Paul Salt, then you can, and if you've seen the film and you want to tell us a good thing about it, so you get a little shout out on the show, you do it there.
Or if you haven't seen it and you want to bluff us.
Fucking bluff us.
Yeah.
We're ready. We're good for a bluffing.
I love the bit with David Carradine. Yeah, totally.
And we'd be like, yeah, please be our friend.
We're so eager to impress all of you.
So eager. It's just such a bunch of little cucks. And if you want to support these little cucks, you can do so on patreon.com/OGTpods, where you can give these cucks a whole £1 a month or more, but also just £1 a month for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And
with a knick-knack, OG team, give a cuck £1.
Cuck, cucky, cuck. I hate the new version of that song. But it's in response to when they cancelled Christmas.
That woke culture brought this upon us. Nevertheless, they did. I'm Paul Culture.
I'm Paul Cuckman.
And remember, the one good thing about Death on the Nile are the bits they shot in Egypt.
Wow.
Damn it.